Hey there, and welcome to Revelstoke Mountain Resort here in British Columbia. We're at the Dark Horse Invitational Freeride event, which is hosted and designed by Casey Brown, along with a whole bunch of local support. There are about 20 riders here this week for the second annual event, including some veterans that have been here before, but also a bunch of up-and-coming riders that are just looking to push the progression and see what's possible out on this refreshed course. To introduce you to some of the riders, we're gonna check out some wicked Freeride bikes before things really kick off. We got Georgia Astle here with her Devinci, and what do you even call this thing, Georgia?
I call this one my SPHPFR, and that stands for my Spartan High Pivot Freeride Edition. So yeah, last year I had this thing built up as a downhill bike, and this was pretty much its maiden voyage. Now I've made it full 27.5, running a coil shock, super fun.
And you were not riding this bike earlier at Formation this year. So how did you decide to bring this one here to Dark Horse?
I think it's really fun for me to get to try and just piece together the dream bike. So my Wilson is a beast in Utah. I feel so confident hitting any drop on that thing. But I really wanted a sick jump bike. So with this, full 27.5 wheels, and it's just so playful and fun and light. So those are all the good things you want on jumps.
And you're a bit taller than me, so what size frame are you running?
Solid medium. Feels pretty good. I don't have a crazy long stem or anything. I get to run high-rise bars, which is cool. I really like how high-rise bars look, so I'm stoked I could fit them in now that I don't have a mullet.
Yes, exactly. Because adding a 29er wheel up there plus the high rise and
just
any sort of
up
space.
Here. So now I get to have a bit of a higher front end and it looks like a jump bike.
And what tires as far as tread and compound did you pick here for the Dark Horse course?
Yeah, same thing. I'm pretty much whatever 27.5 tires I have around because I have a lot more 29ers. But yeah, I always have a DHR2 in the back. And then I play around between an Astle and a DHF. But yeah, this time of the year, it's loamy, getting wet again, so Astle is the one to go with. And yeah, if you pump it up hard enough, it jumps fine.
Heck yeah, and with the DH casing, you're going places.
Yeah, you're going places.
Very fast. So Georgia, because this is a custom beast you built up just for this type of riding, what's your favorite part about it?
I'll give you my top 3 favorites, because there's too many. I really like having the white lowers again. I kind of missed having, I've had the orange Fox lowers forever and it just looks so good with the frame. So that's number 1. I'm really liking our new Galfer rotors that we have this year. I don't know, they never really heat up. They always work. And my STFU. So that's just to keep the chain a bit quieter. I'd never have issues with the chain. So that's pretty sweet.
Those rotors do look mega though, I gotta say. What size rotors are you running there?
203.
Yep.
Yeah, 203 front and rear. And they do the braking well.
Beauty. Well, I think you covered all the important parts of your bike, especially the favorite parts. So yeah, thanks for joining us, dude.
Yeah, thank you, Christina. I'm excited to shred with you later.
Joining us now, we've got Erice van Leuven, who's a 15-year-old shredder all the way from New Zealand. And you're Commencal Furious. So what size bike are you riding?
I'm riding a small, Furious small.
Nice. And what size wheels did you go for on this setup?
They're just 27.5. Yeah.
Very
just
nice.
The classic.
Tell us about your tire choice that you chose to bring all the way here to Revelstoke.
Yeah, so I got the Dissector on the back, which is a faster rolling tire. I prefer it for the jumps. And on the front, got the Astle. Good grip. I always ride it for everything. It's my favorite tire.
And you're a bit of a smaller rider out here. So what sort of tire pressures are you settling on?
I've got 20 in the front and 21 on the back.
Also, one of the only bikes out here that I've seen with Manitou suspension. So you want to run us through what you've got there and how you set it up for this course.
So I've got the Tayte-Proulx on the front, running 60 PSI, and on the back, the Mara Pro running 160 PSI.
How do you prefer to run, say, your compression and your rebound for a course like this?
Yeah, so my rebound is quite low. I prefer it that way. If it's quite hard, I tend to go with bars or whatever. And same with compression as well. It's quite low.
Nice, keep it nice and open.
Yeah.
I've been watching you do some sick, almost like slow-mo, just laid out whips like a motorcycle. So that it kind of checks out when you say slower rebound.
Yeah, slower rebound, definitely.
And run us through your cockpit setup there, Erice. What you're running, how wide your bars are.
Yeah, so my bars are 110, so nice and narrow, small rider. and the Hayes Dominion A4 brakes. They're sick. And I've got the Microshift Advent short range 9-speed for the gears, and then the spank bar stem. Everything's low, easier to reach for me as a smaller rider. Seat as far down as possible.
What would you say is like your favorite thing on this setup of your bike?
Cockpit. I'm just so used to it. Everything works well together. My brakes are like super sensitive, so it's really easy to work them.
Yeah, the Hayes are definitely known to be that kind of on-off feeling. And
yeah, for sure.
I noticed also you've got the STFU chain silencer there.
Yep.
Does it make a big difference for you think?
Yeah, it's really good. Without it, like before I got it, the chain was so rattly, and now it's smooth, silent. Yeah.
Which feels good when you're landing a jump and it's just a nice, sweet, tires on dirt feeling.
Yeah.
Sick. Well, thank you so much for joining us for a little bike check today, and we'll see you out on the course.
Yeah, thank you.
Sick. We're here with the event host, Casey Brown herself, and you've got your Trek Session Park, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Correct.
And what size are you riding, and what makes it the Park Edition?
So I'm riding a size small, and what makes it a Park Edition is the custom alloy rear end. So it's 420 on the back end. Yeah, and it's been my Freeride bike all year long, and this is the bike that I've ridden the most this year.
Would you say that's a sign of a good year when you're riding this bike the most?
Definitely, it's my favorite bike, and the more I'm on it, the happier I am. I'm running 35 PSI in the back tire, 30 in the front for this course, and I'm running a 492 spring. Yeah, I got some really fresh tidal pieces on here. I got this Reform carbon bar and the fresh tidal grips on here, and yeah, it's a really fun bike.
Tell us a little bit more about the Reform bar and even the length you're running.
Yeah, so the Reform bar, I cut it down to 760 myself, and it is one of the first tidal bars that's fully carbon and like a very custom shape. It's been designed by Brett himself and tested, and yeah, we've been running it for a bit now, but now the actual bars are very close to being on the market, so yeah.
Very cool, passion project.
Yeah.
Noticed a couple more tidal components. What kind of seat and seat post are you running?
This is the Tidal JS1 seat, and then the carbon seat post one as well.
So Casey, you're running some pretty knobby tires, lots of traction. Is that pretty standard on a Freeride course for you?
Yeah, I mean, these tires are definitely my standard issue G5s. I always run these tires. They're just super consistent. Yeah, I've run them all year long and no surprises. And
what rims are you running those on?
I'm running them on the Line DH30s, the Bontrager.
So you always have sick custom bikes, Trek paints them up for you.
Yeah.
How does that collaboration work? Where do the ideas come from?
I just, you know, it's actually kind of a hard thing to do, is like come up with a paint job every year. I know it's like an amazing opportunity, and I mean, I feel so lucky that I get custom paint jobs, but yeah, it's so hard sometimes though. You're like, oh my God, what am I gonna have this year? But yeah, I just came up with this design of like sort of old Western style tattoos, and then it really went well with everywhere I went this year, like Formation, Proving Grounds, just like the bike just looks good everywhere.
So I noticed you have some huge rotors on there. What size rotors you're running on
These
the brakes?
are 220s. They're huge, but they really do the job on the steeps and the serious terrain that we have to ride all year long. So yeah, it's cool. I've never had rotors this big before, and no bends or anything. So
well, other than the paint job, what would you say is your favorite piece of this bike going on?
I really like the gold chain.
I was waiting for her to say that.
The gold chain's pretty sick. The gold chain and the handlebars are pretty sweet. Yeah.
Nice. Well, look good, feel good. We're gonna let you go so you can get out there and ride good.
Right on, guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Al.
Yeah.
Joining us right now, we've got Amy Ertel and her GT Fury. Now this thing looks brand spanking new. So how old is it and what size is it, Amy?
This is my small GT Fury. I just got the frame a couple days ago, so it is about as fresh gets for a frame.
Pretty dope. So first kind of outing on the bike, you bring it here to Dark Horse. What have you changed compared to like your normal setup at home in the bike park for something like this, where the jumps are a lot bigger?
Running stiffer tire pressure, stiffer suspension pressure. Yeah, just everything's just a bit stiffer and harder, meant to go faster and poppier, so.
Tell us about your tire choices here at Dark Horse.
Yeah, for sure. I've got the Astle up front, then the Minion DHF in the back. I've got 30 in the front, 32 in the back, PSI. And yeah, I've got my Weir One Strife rims that are built to take a beating.
And I saw you earlier, you were swapping back and forth from flat pedals to clip pedals. We've got clipless pedals on there now, but what's going on there?
Yeah, I grew up racing, so I switched to clips pretty early on, and it's kind of been a progression for me to like go over to flats. I really like it on jumps, not super confident on drops with flats.
All right, Amy, what stopping power are you using out there? Not that you need brakes on this course.
Yeah, it's pretty much brake free through the whole thing, but then once you get to the road, you gotta stop. Got 200 mil rotors front and back, SRAM code RSCs, so best SRAM brakes on the market.
Need that after some big hang time.
Yeah, especially because I'm so huge, you know,
big
a lot of weight to stop.
What is your favorite part about this bike so far since you just built it?
I think I love this frame. I really like the color of it.
Ooh.
I was on a blue one with like the yellow logo for a while, but just like the matte black, the red, got a lot of red on the bike. You know, it's just aesthetic.
It's nice. Awesome. Well, I think we covered a lot there, Amy. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and get back out there and finish strong.
Yeah, sounds good. See you guys.
We're here with Tayte-Proulx Royds now. It's your second year at Dark Horse. Last year, you were actually awarded the Dark Horse Award. So you stoked to be back?
Yeah, I'm super stoked. It's gonna be such a good session. It's gonna be great.
Sick. And Tate, you've got one of the super special Lieb Hails. This bike's like not on the market to any old person walking into a shop. So tell us how you came across this bike.
Yeah, so Liv has been super awesome, and they sent me some Hail frames, and I set one up as a downhill bike, and it's been sweet. Yeah, it's lasted me all season. It's been awesome, yeah.
And you were saying earlier you made a couple adjustments to get it ready for the Dark Horse course. What were some of those things?
Yeah, so I definitely bumped up the air pressure in my fork and rear shock. They're pretty even, I think, like 28% sag in both rear and front, yeah.
And how do you like your tires set up?
It's sweet, yeah. I've got the pinners from Canada, and they're super sweet. They roll super well, and yeah, got some good grip to them.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how are you setting those up for air pressures?
30 in the back, 27 in the front.
Running fully tubeless setup, or
Yeah.
do you do any inserts, anything like that?
No, just tubeless.
Your wheel selection, big fan of the rainbow nipples there.
Yeah.
Which rims are you running?
They're the Weir One Unions. And so they're pretty sweet, and I got, the rainbow nipples.
We've got a super tidy little cockpit there, lots of title components. So run us through exactly what you're rocking.
Yeah, so I got the Title Chrome stem and bar, and then I'm fully set up on Shimano Sanes. And then these are some Renthal grips.
Well, you've got a pretty big bag of tricks already, but I noticed you're rocking the clip pedals. Do you ever dabble in the flats?
No, not really. I've been so into racing this season on clips, I just haven't had time to be on my flats.
So usually I ask the riders what their favorite thing on the bike is, but I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you what my favorite thing on the bike is, and it's your moto number down there.
Yeah, that's a special touch. Yeah, I added that a while ago.
Well, we won't hold you much longer. We'll let you get out there and get ripping.
All
and
right.
Thanks for the chat.
Sweet, awesome, thank you.
Joining us next, we've got a regular on the Freeride circuit these days, Hannah Bergemann, HB. Run us through your Transition TR11.
Yeah, this is my new 2022 TR11 from Transition. It's got a bit of custom bits on it, and I am loving it more than any downhill bike I've had before. I've got some really fun custom graphics, like with my name on the side. I've got a fun one on the back of the seat tube. So I've got the new RockShox Super Deluxe Ultimate Shock. I set it up pretty stiff pressure for my body weight. For the fork, I'm running the RockShox Boxer Ultimate. I want to say I have it maybe around like 120 PSI.
Nice and firm.
Yeah.
Ready
pretty
for the
stiff.
big hits.
For the tread and compound, I run downhill casing and grippy tires just because I like the way grippy tires feel. But for pressure, I do change that a lot. So like on the trails, running like mid-20s, but then going to the jumps, I'm running 30, 35. And even bigger jumps, I'll go higher, like up to 40 or 45. The nice thing with the higher tire pressure is you don't feel like the tire's squirming or rolling off the lips when you're pushing hard into a compression. It feels nice and stable.
Looks like the cockpit, you're running a pretty high setup.
Yeah.
You're a pretty tall lady. What's behind that?
Yeah, I'm about 5'7". I just like the way tall cockpits feel. It feels like I can be nice and tall and centered on the bike, which feels really nice to me when I'm hitting jumps or riding something steep. I don't feel like I'm too far over the front of the bike. I can be in a really nice neutral position. It just feels really comfortable to me.
And how wide are you running your 10-inch bars?
I run 760.
You got a lot of custom things on this bike, but what would you say is your favorite or maybe you're most attached to even?
I just love the deep purple color on the pedals and the hubs. Like, I'm super grateful to work with cool companies that let me kind of run with fun ideas. Like Tyler at Tenet let me pick that color and design it myself and put it on his pedal for me. So that's really cool, and I think they're amazing. And as well as I9 with the hubs, they put like an awesome custom little graphic on there. It's got like some trees for the PNW and a little mesa for the desert.
So I saw you hitting the airbag earlier, sessioning the mulch jump and whatnot. You're getting some feet off the pedals.
Yeah, I'm coming back from an injury earlier this summer, so kind of just trying to ease back into everything, but that's why it's awesome to have a rad progression event like this, so you can kind of work back into it, learn some new tricks, get your confidence back, and it's super fun.
Well, we'll let you go make a party in the woods and get back out on the course, but thank you so much for running us through your bike.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
Thank you so much for tuning in today and checking out some of these Freeride bikes here at the Dark Horse event. Make sure to stay tuned this week because we've got some more riding going down on the course, tons of big tricks being thrown. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe so you don't miss another.